Hey folks, it's Rob Flux here with another Real Deal in the Field, and we're here with Bridgette and Jeff with their Duplex projects up in the Sunshine Coast, so Mudjimba. Why have you chosen this particular area to do your Duplex project?
Well, Rob, Jeff and I used to come up here on holiday a lot, and we decided this is an area we'd really like to retire to. And even though we live in Brisbane, you know, it's a 2-hour drive to get here, we thought it was far enough away, close to the beach, and it was just an area we really liked.
Very good. So now, being a 2-hour drive, what sort of challenges did that bring in trying to manage a project remotely? Because this also happened, I guess, at the tail end of COVID as well. So I'm sure that there was a whole bunch of challenges that triggered as part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, driving 2 hours here and 2 hours back, I had to take a whole day off work. So that was getting more and more difficult. I could only take a certain number of days of work as annual leave and, you know, so forth. But it did become very challenging towards the end, especially when I needed to be on site more often. We did settle in just on the tail end of COVID, and it did make it quite difficult, you know, getting tradies, even dealing with the council. There were always people off sick due to COVID, so it delayed things a lot. It was an extremely long build. Took us about 2.5 years to, you know, from settlement to actual handover. So
a whole bunch of challenges in all of that. So would you, in 2 words or less, would you recommend running a project remotely for anybody out there?
No. Do it closer to home, for sure.
That is less than 2 words. Folks, we're going to go inside, have a look at the fixtures and fittings and the fit out and that sort of thing. Hey folks, here we are inside. Just give you a little bit of a look and feel. It's been styled, ready for sale, so going on the market any minute now. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, the size and the fit out and that sort of thing. So how big is it? What are the features and benefits of living here?
Well, it's 251 square meters, double story. We've got 3 bedrooms, 2 multi-purpose rooms, 3 bathrooms. We have actually designed it such that if you are elderly, which we probably will be when we retire, there's potential for an internal lift. So we can either live downstairs because there's a bathroom downstairs, or we can have a lift to get us upstairs.
Super important thing, folks, because I guess the Gen Xers, baby boomers, that sort of thing, we're all getting old, and age in place is actually a super important thing for anything that you do from a design perspective. Now, originally, you were thinking of keeping both sides of the duplex. You've had a change of plan with regards to your exit strategy along the way. So what are some of the issues and challenges that raised, I guess, in thinking you wanted to get out one way and then at the end, I guess, wanting to get out another way?
So Rob, the original plan was to keep both, rent for the long term and just use it as a cash cow. We started this project when interest rates were 2%. We know what's happened this year and our cash flow has been smashed. Do we get much more capital gain? No. So we decided to sell one duplex. So we've had to rethink how we get out of it. And this duplex is about using the GST and margin scheme to sell. Key to supporting all of this was record keeping. So important to have your records up to date, working with your accountant, because this was an fairly easy switch. The accountant was fully supportive, and the tax man, on having a look at our records, has been fine with everything we've done. So all good from that point of view, Rob.
So the big lesson out of this, folks, is always have a plan A with regards to your preference with how you want to get out, but also cater for the fact that you may need a plan B. Circumstances change along the way. Keep your records very, very well. If the long-term intention was to keep this, then after 6 years, it would have turned into a capital gains tax opportunity, for want of a better word, but because you're selling early, it converts into a GST obligation, but you're only selling one side, so now you've got to do the math and go, well, I'm only claiming half the GST because we're actually going to keep the other side. Now, I guess the smart outcome out of the decision to actually sell means you're actually able to pay down your debt, and the side that you are actually going to keep now is going to be relatively debt-free. So good outcome, which means I guess you can live a long time into the future and not have any expenses from that side. Just need to get some other revenue from some other projects, folks.
Yes.
Okay, let's pop upstairs, have a look up there, show you the master bedroom, and we'll share some more stories from there. See you soon. So here we are in the master bedroom with a very, very generous ensuite on the other side, which lends us to, I guess, talk about the fact that construction costs during this project. You acquired this at the tail end of COVID, and everybody knows the building boom happened and construction costs went through the roof. How did that impact this particular project?
So Rob, we purchased the property for 823. We then did do a bit of market analysis a couple of months later, and the uplift as a result of the boom you're talking about was we valued this at about 1 million at that stage without doing anything to it.
Without doing anything, so you've got an uplift, a capital uplift just from the market, happening, but then the construction costs themselves, I guess kicked in, so that's going to erode some of that. So, what are the impacts from a construction cost perspective?
So we had a fixed contract with the builder prior to building. We had delays, obviously, with some of the time planning and getting things over the line. But once that was over the line, he came back to us and said, "Look, guys, it's changed. I need some help." That was an amount of $75,000, which we agreed to pay because we just knew what was happening in the market.
Pretty common at that point in time, and 75 was a relatively minor variation compared to what a lot of other people have seen, but that wasn't the end of it, was it?
No. So then, look, building starts, obviously, and there are delays. I mean, you heard Bridge talking about being here and getting things approved and looking at things. So all these things took their toll: tradies, materials, lack of supply. All in all, we had 14 variations throughout the build, and then once we had reconciled all of that, we were in for a total extra cost, including the 75, of $150,000.
Which, compared to a lot of other people, I guess, going through the same process, is actually relatively low. So fortunate in the fact that you picked up that raw capital uplift right at the very start. I'm sure the finished product has also picked up a little bit, and you're going to market any minute now, so we're about to test to see how accurate that actually is. But fingers crossed, I guess the market uplift and the building costs have kind of neutralised each other out. Anyway, folks, Bridgette and Jeff are going to be talking about this in one of our upcoming Real Deals at our Brisbane meetup, where you're actually going to see the entire project, warts and all, the good, the bad and the ugly. We run these Real Deals all the way around the country at meetups in Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne and Adelaide. Plus we live stream them all the way around the country. So if you want to see their story and a few other stories, why don't you click on the links below, come to one of our upcoming meetups. And until then, I'm going to say bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.